It's time for the Ford F-150 Final Five. Geekie across. Pastrnak shakes, shoots. He scores! Start throwing those hats. David Pastrnak has got the hat trick and 2 assists tonight. That's 40 goals, and the Bruins are on top 5-0 over the Canes.
Oh, man, we missed this kind of energy at the TD Garden, and it was brought by David Pastrnak, his linemen, Jeremy Swayman as well. And with that, we welcome you to Bruins Overtime Live, presented by BuyAToyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit BuyAToyota.com with Billy and Barry. I'm Sophia. Guys, felt like a vintage Bruins night here.
Well, I'm sure to Freddie Andersen it felt like a Game 7 against the Boston Bruins.
Oh, you had to go there with him, huh?
In a year like this, why not? You know,
You need the positive.
Freddie Andersen was 7-0 coming in
tonight.
in his last 7 games. Gave up 10 goals in that time.
Yeah, he was like 1.94 or something. Right?
Unbelievable.
So, yeah.
Unbelievable. And not just Freddie Andersen, but as you mentioned, as we discussed intermission between second and third, Slavin, arguably the best defensive defenseman in the NHL, a -5. Brent Burns. The top line, David Pastrnak, going full Pastaville. It was Pastamania tonight.
And as we talked early in the first period, it just looked like he had the jump, and it was going to be one of those nights. Swayman with some huge saves, as the guys talked about. You know, and Brick talked about, a blue-collar effort. I'm looking down here, 25 block shots for the Bruins. I mean, Lauko had a couple, right?
Yeah. Zadorov, 9 hits.
Yeah, 9 hits. So it was a win. We talked before the game how the team needed it.
Oh, yeah.
And to your point, and we also talked about it, kind of off air in that third period, to your point, Sophia, about the fun night, you got to give the Bruins fans a lot of credit.
Huge.
And this has been such a frustrating year for everybody, right? Not only the organization, obviously, but the fan base. And they had a lot of fun tonight. They had a lot of kids were here tonight. You can see all the parents. They were dancing and singing.
They were into it too, Barry, from warm up. They were into it.
Yeah,
it had a Saturday night vibe, and it was, and because it is, it was right. It's Saturday. Thank you. They were great. The fans were great, and it's been tough on them, and understandably so.
Yeah, of course.
They were awesome.
Well, we have a lot of highlights to cover, but Jeremy Swayman, we were discussing his 4th straight start, guys. Almost a shutout, but this is actually his 100th career win, and it couldn't have come in better style.
And this is like right here, that type of save, to me, as if not more important than the top line goals. Because, and Razor mentioned it a little bit during the telecast, about how the game changes for goalies when you're up and stuff, but he had to get the team to that spot at 0-0 to get him a chance to get up 1-2-0. I loved his reads when the puck came from below the goal line like this to the front. He had to have had at least 5 of those saves.
Yeah, and I think, too, to your point, as we were talking about Pasta, you could tell early he was feeling it. You could tell early in the 10 minutes, that first period, where he had to make some really, high-danger saves. You could tell that he was following it well. He was square to the shooter there and was controlling his rebounds, for the most part, but he was really sharp. And we had been talking about it, Sophia, when we were talking the pregame about he's been, looking better the last couple, but he needed some offensive help.
Yeah.
Well, he got that tonight.
Yeah, just juxtapose the performance as we take a look at another good save. This is a good backhand after by Robinson.
Square the shooter, huh?
Yeah. Juxtapose his performance after the attempted fight against L.A.
Yeah.
And how his body positioning was. And yes, the team was completely down in the dumps, but how he looked to what we saw the last couple of games, especially tonight. Spectacular
But
tonight.
a turning point there, you're saying, or no? We're just comparing. Maybe? I was thinking about that.
Maybe it's like a moment
back to basics type thing,
yes,
right?
Like he had either an internal or maybe there was a discussion. I don't know. Yep. And then maybe that just helped reset because he's had now 8 periods where he's been really, really good in a row.
Morgan Geekie on that first line, also a hell of a night for him.
Yep.
4 points tonight. That is a career high in a game for him. Got a goal as well, guys.
Yeah, and this line's been playing a nice little play of the neutral zone. This has got things started. This kind of showed you what kind of night it was. because of the speed of the breakout that you talked about earlier, Billy, that gets Burns back a little bit on that blue line. It gives Geekie a little bit of room. This puck goes off of Burns' stick, but you would think it's still one that Andersen should have from that far out. But as we know, and a Razor will tell you, you get a deflection, you're going looking somewhere else, and it kind of dives a little bit, right?
Totally dives down. There's a good release. I mean, when you've got a good shot, we've talked numerous times about the release of Morgan Geekie. Get the shot off, a fortuitous bounce off the deflection off the stick, and we get an Adam Pellerin tweet.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, who is this guy?
Wow.
Pellerin, the statistician. Morgan Geekie now has 28 goals. The last Bruin not named, Pastrnak, Marchand, and Bergeron to score 30 goals in a season with Louis Eriksson during the 2015-2016 campaign with 30, and that's also the last time the Bruins did not qualify for the postseason. Good work, Adam.
Thanks for adding that last line, Adam.
Thanks for what?
Adding that last line as a reminder.
Yeah, sorry. No,
that's great. That's great stuff from Adam. And
is that because the Red Sox were rained out? Was that why he was?
He probably had extra time.
Yeah, right.
He's on the road for the next trip too, but he had a bit of extra time. But no, great for Morgan.
Probably
Geekie.
at the airport since about 5. He doesn't want to be late.
Who's
free food?
Having a career. Speaking of free food, having a career year, obviously, and then this a career night for him. 49 points on the season. His career high was 39 last year. Okay, Elias Lindholm, someone else that was on the first line, also getting on the board, guys. The first line was firing.
He needed it, right, Barry?
Yep,
he needs this type of thing. You know, look, I'm not going to say that this type of performance is going to mean that next season is going to be better, but it can't hurt.
Nope.
At the very least. A lot more. This is goal. This was a ginormous goal at the end of the first period with an amazing shift by all of them. You could see the excitement with David celebrating along with Geekie with Elias. Elias works hard to get inside positioning in front of the net. He's going to get back to the front of the net. Watch right here. He's going to get back in. He's going to get inside. I think it was on Burns. I beg your pardon. It's on lefty on Swayman. He's able to pivot away. It was just awesome how he gets it. But again, Pastrnak mesmerizes everybody to start.
And protects that puck.
Yes.
You know, he just has so much time, and he realizes how much time. But to your point, Sophia, we had talked in the pregame as we were looking forward to next year. What are the options? Some things are going to happen. And we had talked about Elias Lindholm getting some confidence back. You know he's skilled. Remember, as people talk about the signing, he was the number one signing throughout the league that everybody was going after.
Coveted, yeah.
And he just had a slow start. I don't know if he was hurt coming out of camp or whatever, but you could just see he lost his confidence. And you can see it, as you like to say, Billy, in his body manner, right? You could just see the shoulders kind of go a little bit. But it would be nice to see him down the stretch here get some confidence so he can have a little extra to work with in the summertime.
Guys, Elias Lindholm, David Pastrnak, and Morgan Geekie opening up the scoring there, and then Pasta taking it away with the hat trick. So his 19th career regular season hat trick, 5 points for him, and I think we're taking a look at all of the goals. Oh, this is the second one? Was that the second one?
Yeah, it's the second goal. He spins, uses that, and then this one, not one, but 2 deflections. I mean, you want to talk about hand-eye coordination, and this is when you know it's your night, too. I mean, he's doing everything right. And then here,
the body fake.
Yeah, you were right. So that was the first one that he spun on. My bad. And then that look, he does like 8 moves here, and he could have gone 5-hole on Andersen.
Could have. It looked like
look
he had
at the
him
patience.
right there.
Look at
Yeah.
the patience.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
But like you said, when that double, when he batted it out of the air, that's when you know, like you said, or that angle shot, you're like, okay, I'm going to get another one.
But he had a cadence to his game tonight that it looked like he was almost skating above the ice just a little bit. You know, he wasn't
flow.
He wasn't laboring. It was flow.
Yeah.
It was going. I mean, he was outstanding. And this line,
numbers. Wow,
Barry. I mean, these numbers are outstanding.
That they are, and the +5 in itself, and as Rick had been talked about with Judd. They were going against Ahu's line, who's one of the best two-way centers in the league, and that didn't work out very well for Carolina, so they changed it in the third, but they still kept Burns and Swayman, who were arguably one of the top 2 or 3.
Well, especially Swayman.
Yeah, Swayman tandem in the league, right? They were -5.
How about the fact that they the end of the first period, you put Aho out there with Martinook, who's this great defensive defenseman. And I think it was Stankoven as well. Forgive me for wrong. Our defensive forward, I mean. But still, they scored that goal at the end of the period. So anybody that Rod Brindamore threw out against that line, they had no answer for.
No, and remember, too, at the last game against Montreal at the end, we were talking about some of the problems, and it was those goals that the Bruins were letting up late in periods and the beginning of periods. Here tonight you had 2 in the last, minute 11 in the first, and then you open up the third, 128 in. Mm-hmm. So now you've got all of a sudden, you get some momentum early and at the end of a period, which you haven't had for a long, long time.
Well, we have our Subaru star of the game to get to, and that is presented by Subaru New England. Fall in love with the brand new Subaru, and of course...
Who could it be?
Could Billy make a bet on this? Quick, Billy, come
yes. Guys, we were wondering, even, 5 games ago, could he get to 40? He's definitely surpassed that now, and now he's closing in on 100 points, sitting at 94 after a 5-point night. And as he's climbing up the list, most 40-goal seasons in Bruins history, now with 5 for David Pastrnak. And he, of course, spoke with Razor after the game.
David, that's a great win for you guys. Obviously, a tough couple of weeks, but to get the victory, it makes the plane ride nice tonight, do it in front of the home fans.
Yeah, like you said, it's been a tough couple of weeks. It's been fun to hear the Garden, be happy again and loud. It was fun, and the guys were blocking shot, and we were committed to winning today, and that's just the way. That's what it takes in this league to play that way. You have to play like this most of the nights, and super proud of the group the way we showed up today. We stick for each other, and how I said, big blocks. Sway took care of his own, and a big win for us. Obviously, needed to get back on the winning track.
3 great goals from you. I'm curious if you had a favorite of the 3 highlights. Can you pick one of those 3?
Well, I guess the second one, I don't think I will ever score a goal like that. It's so lucky. I tried baseball a couple of times, really bad at it. So I guess I have to go with that one because, a lot of luck with that. How I said, I'm not a good baseball player. So good eye coordination, but a little luck.
Tennis. That's tennis-like. There you go. You can beat the guys in tennis. Just final, last one. To finish off this season, but also the way you've done it has been so impressive. The competitiveness you've brought to it every single night. How do you what's the focus, I guess, for the last 5 games to continue that? Have games like tonight, put points up the way you have. For you, how are you processing that?
Just show up to work, and get better every day. I try to compete. That's why I am where I am. The competitiveness in my body is crazy amount, and can't go weeks without it or days. So, I have that in my body, and hope to keep getting better. So it's season coming down to the end, but. Just finish strong, and because it carries on for the next season the way you finish. So just try to finish good, feeling good about our game, and as a team, as an individual, to use it as motivation for upcoming years.
Well, it was awesome tonight. Thanks. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Nice interview with David Pastrnak.
Was that one of those hats that he got the 25? What was it? 25
no,
or 40% downstairs?
Oh,
the pro shop they were advertising.
They are advertising
after the hat.
They are.
The hat
yes.
trick, yeah.
I mean, it's a nice hat.
Yeah, it is.
So David Pastrnak now but continuing to climb, second on the list for most career hat tricks. Bruins all time at 19th of the season. I really liked how he said the competitiveness in his body. I know when he was out of the Four Nations tournament because they weren't in it, it was hard for him to watch that.
But remember, and we talked about it last game as well, how we were worried about him going down this stretch.
Yeah.
Billy, you and I talked about, geez, this is going to wear on him. He's by himself. He's lost all his buddies. The teams are struggling. And what's going to happen? He hung in there. He kept going. He kept producing. And then all of a sudden he gets rewarded for a night like this.
We had a couple of moments where you could tell pasta was overcooked. You know what I mean? It was so strenuous on him.
Yeah.
And
it's always food with you.
It has to be, right?
Yeah.
But you could see where you could tell that it had gotten to him at times.
I agree.
And that's because he's, as you said in the pre, because he's human.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's right. But he's resilient. He's rebounded.
And he's skilled.
Well, yeah, and he's proud.
Yep.
And he's proud. So good for him. What a fun night for him.
By the way, 19 career hat tricks, but first career natural hat trick for David Pastrnak. So there you go.